Hi, beautiful people. Welcome to psysigns, where we decode behavior and help you build emotional clarity. In our last video, we laid out the 5 undeniable signs you're in the friend zone. And if that resonated with you, you're now at the critical crossroads. You can stay in that painful, hopeful limbo, or you can take control and change the dynamic. The friend zone isn't a permanent label, it's a perception. And perception can be shifted with intentional, strategic action. This isn't about playing childish games or begging for attention. It's a psychology-backed process of self-reinvention and clear communication. Today, we're moving from understanding the problem to executing the solution. Here are 6 powerful ways to get out of the friend zone. Way 1. The strategic disappearance. Master the art of absence. The first and most critical step is to break the predictable pattern you've established. In the friend zone, you are a constant, reliable, and safe presence. You're always available, always responsive, always there to listen. To change your category in their mind, you must first become less familiar. This is the strategic disappearance. This doesn't mean ghosting or being rude. It means becoming deliberately and noticeably less available. Reduce your text initiation by 70 to 80%. If they text you with casual friend chat or an emotional dump, take hours to reply and keep your replies warm but brief. Start declining some invitations to group hangs, especially the last-minute ones. Be politely busy. I'd love to, but I've got plans that night. What are those plans? They don't need to know. The goal is to create a vacuum where your presence once was. Why does this work so powerfully? Because the human brain is wired to pay attention to change. When a steady source of validation, that's you, becomes less available, it triggers a subconscious reevaluation. They'll start to wonder, why are they so busy? What's changed? You stop being background noise and become a question mark. This absence also gives you the essential space to focus on the next step, which is the real key to everything. Way 2. The identity overhaul. Become objectively more attractive. You cannot simply tell someone to see you differently. You have to give them a reason to see you differently. This step is not about them at all, it's about you. Use the time and energy you are pouring into the friendship and reinvest it relentlessly into yourself. This is the identity overhaul. This means physically, get into the best shape of your life. Find a style that makes you feel confident. Socially, deepen other friendships. Go out and meet new people. Have adventures that don't involve them. Professionally/passionately. Throw yourself into your work, a side hustle, or a creative hobby. Develop skills. Have goals you're excited about. The objective is to build a life that is so compelling and full that your happiness is no longer contingent on their attention. When you achieve this, a subtle but profound shift occurs. You stop emitting needy friend energy and start emitting confident, independent person energy. This is magnetically attractive. When they do see you or hear about you, they're not seeing the same old friend. They're seeing a newer, more interesting version. You are literally giving them new data that conflicts with their old just a friend file. Way 3. The social proof leverage. Let the world see your value. Once you've begun your overhaul, you need to demonstrate your new social value without saying a word. This is where social proof comes in. People are subconsciously influenced by how others value you. If you're always alone and waiting for them, you seem available but not in high demand. If you're seen thriving in your social world, you seem desirable. Be genuinely social. Post pictures authentically of you having a great time with other friends, both male and female. If you're dating other people, let that be a quiet reality. Not to make them jealous, but as a natural consequence of you being an attractive, single person moving forward. When you interact with them, casually mention other plans and people. Yeah, I had a great hike with Sam last weekend. The message is not, I'm dating someone, but I have a vibrant, interesting life that you are no longer the center of. This forces them to subconsciously compete for your attention, flipping the script of the one-sided dynamic. Way 4. The dynamic reset. Reintroduce flirtation and tension. After a period of absence and self-improvement, think a month or more, not a week, you can re-engage. But the interaction must be fundamentally different. You cannot slip back into the old therapist/buddy dynamic. This is the dynamic reset. Initiate contact to set up a specific one-on-one meeting. Frame it intentionally. Instead of, hey, wanna hang out? Try, hey, there's this new cocktail bar I've been wanting to try. You should come with me this Friday. The activity itself should have a slight date-like vibe. When you meet, your behavior must shift. Physically, use confident, open body language. Employ the triangle gaze, eyes, mouth, eyes. Create opportunities for light, intentional touch, a greeting hug that's slightly firmer, a touch on the arm to emphasize a point. Verbally, steer conversations away from deep emotional problems or gossip. Keep it light, fun, and forward-looking. Use playful teasing. Give compliments that are based on their appearance or energy in the moment. You look really great tonight, not their personality traits you've always known. You are not their friend catching up. You are a potential romantic interest on a first date. This resets the entire tone of the relationship. Way 5. The boundary enforcement. Stop providing boyfriend/girlfriend benefits for free. This is a cold, hard look at what you're giving versus what you're getting. In the friend zone, you often provide emotional support, loyalty, time, and attention that are typically reserved for a romantic partner, but you receive only friendship in return. To escape, you must stop providing these partner benefits for free. Be brutally honest with yourself. Are you their plus one to events where they need arm candy? Do you drop everything to help them move or fix a problem? Do you provide endless empathy for their dating woes? Stop. Politely but firmly start setting boundaries. I can't talk tonight. I've got an early morning. I'm actually booked that weekend, but I hope the move goes well. When you stop subsidizing the emotional and practical comforts of a relationship without the title, you accomplish two things. You regain your self-respect, and you make the cost of keeping you in the friend zone more apparent to them. They either have to step up to a romantic level to receive those benefits, or they lose them. This separates the users from those who might genuinely be open to more. Way 6. The clarity ultimatum. The respectful, final move. If, after executing the first 5 ways, you still have strong feelings and sense a new intrigue from them, it's time to end the ambiguity. You cannot do this work forever. The clarity ultimatum is not a negotiation. It's a declaration of your position and a boundary for your own peace. After a positive one-on-one interaction, you say something direct and calm. I've really enjoyed seeing you again. I need to be honest. My feelings for you aren't just friendly. I'm interested in exploring a romantic relationship. I know this might be a surprise, and I completely understand if you don't feel the same way. But for my own well-being, I can't go back to pretending we're just friends. If you're not interested in dating, I need to take some real space for myself to move on. Then you shut up and let them respond. You must be prepared for either answer. The power of this move is that it forces a definitive outcome. If they say yes, you've succeeded. If they say no, you have your answer with 100% certainty, and you are now free and obligated to walk away completely to heal. This final step is the only way to truly get out. Either you exit into a relationship, or you exit the limbo entirely. Both are victories. The core philosophy. Escaping the friend zone is a test of self-respect. It requires you to choose yourself over fantasy. These 6 ways are a blueprint for prioritizing your own growth, setting boundaries, and communicating with courageous honesty. It's not a guarantee they will fall for you, but it is a guarantee that you will stop wasting your life in a painful, one-sided illusion. You will become a stronger, more attractive person regardless of their choice, and that is the ultimate win. I want to hear from you. For those who have tried to leave the friend zone, which of these strategies do you think is the most difficult but most necessary? Share your stories in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe because here at psysigns, we're building emotional clarity one truth at a time. See you in the next one.